All right then. So now all we have to do over here, let's make sure this is going to take the complete width. Width needs to be full. And I'm gonna say uh for a single over here, what we can do is maximum four layout. Maximum we can create four different layouts over there. Right? So we can use a grid. So I'm just going to say grid grid columns 2 on the normal mobile devices, but on the medium devices onwards grid column needs to be four different columns, right? And the gap between them, it needs to be 4. And now inside here we are going to create that those buttons, the element button. So let's say element card, element button card, something like that, button card. Okay, so let's create that component, element button card.tsx, and let's mark this was a client component, use client, and rafc element button card, save it, and let's bring that element button card over here. Okay, now we can able to see that element button card. You can able to see that over there. Now for this element button card, what are the props that is needed? So what we are planning to do is we are going to give a list of buttons. When the user select any one button, and we are going to highlight that button, that particular button type is selected, right? So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the card. Then inside here, we are going to make some class name, which is going to be flex column, item center, justify center, and gap needs to be 4, and padding on all sides needs to be 4. And that's how it looks. That is how it looks. And I need to adjust the rounded needs to be lg, something like that. Then inside over here, I'm gonna bring an icon. So let's open the Lucid Reacts. Let's say button. Mm, mm, mm. For button, we need to have any icon. Mm. Okay, so for button, for the time being, I'm going to use this ruler dimensional line icon. And right after here, I'm going to bring the card uh, title, which is going to be the button itself. Save it. That's how, for the time being, it is going to looks like, right? When I hover it, if you see, when I hover it, nothing is happening. So what I'm going to do is, whenever I'm hovering it, I'm gonna highlight its background color, the border color. The border needs to be gray or neutral 200. So when I'm hovering it, you can see there is a changes over there. Let's make it to 400. That would be more appropriate, or 500. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna mark so this needs to be a reusable component, right? This needs to be a reusable component. So what are the things that we needed? So let's create an interface, element button props. First we need the title, which is going to be the string. Then the second one, the type. Okay, whether it is a button or a switch or a text field, something like that. And that is also going to be a string. Then selected type, selected type, right? The reason the type which we are going to fix it, and the selected type is the choice which the user selected. If the selected type and the fixed type, if both are equal, then we need to highlight that particular button. So that's the thing. Okay, and the last one is, which is going to be the icon, uh icon, which is going to be the lucid icon. So here let's destructure all those things from element card props. So first, which is going to be the title, then the type, then the selected type, and then last one, the icon, which is going to referred as icon. Referred as icon, something like that. Okay, now here let's bring that icon, and here let me bring the title, title. Okay, so don't worry about the rest of the stuff, we will fix that one. And element type is invalid. Why it is invalid? Okay, so the problem is we haven't sent any icon from here. So for the time being, I'm just going to say title, let's say button, and the icon, which is going to be the ruler dimension line. Save it. And now that issue should be rectified. Perfect. Right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a state over here. Use state snippet selected type, and which is going to be an empty string. Okay, by default I'm going to keep it as a button. By default I'm going to keep that one as a button. And here I'm just going to say for this first one, that is the type of button, and for the selected type I'm going to send the selected type. Oops, selected, spelling wrong. Selected. Okay, now this type button is a fixed one because this is the particular card which is going to fix a type as a button, and there are going to be several type which is going to be switch, text field, text area, something like that, right? And the selected type, basically whenever user clicks it, we are going to change that selected type. Okay, and that is what the selected type is going to be. All right, so now we have that, but there is one more critical thing. It's need to be corrected over here, because when you click it, I need to set the selected type. So either what you can do, you can send this function to that component and use that function inside another function and set the value, or you can create yourself own function as a prop. On click, whenever I'm clicking it, I'm going to get the type, which is basically the string type, and I'm not going to return anything, which is the void, right? And inside here you need to get the on click, right? And whenever I'm clicking this card, this needs to be cursor pointer, and whenever I'm clicking it on click, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call a callback function which is going to say on click, and it is going to set the type. Let me enable the word wrap so you can see it clearly. Okay, this is what is going to happen, and here I'm going to use that function on click, and that function is going to return a callback function. Basically it's returning a type, and here I'm going to use that function set selected type, which is going to be the type. That's it. Okay, fine. Now what I need to do is, if the selected type and the type is both are same, I need to change the color. So here const is selected is equals to selected type equals to type. If both are same, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some customizations over here. Open it, use the cn function provided by the library. Okay, by default what I'm going to write the default styles, and the conditional styles will be follow after. Flex, that's important, flex column, and item center, justify center, and gap, it's going to be 4. Padding, of course, it's going to be 4, and rounded LG. What else we added? Cursor pointer, I think so. And we need to have a border and transitions on colors. And whenever I'm hovering it, border neutral, it needs to be 400. Yes, right? These are the things. Now, right after here, the conditional styles is selected. If it is selected, what I need to do, I need to add some colors, right? So let me remove this from here and I can add it in over here. If it is selected, then the border color is going to be blue 500. If it is not selected, then the border color, it's going to be hover. Whenever I'm hovering it, border color, it's going to be blue 500, something like that. Save it. Now we can see that is selected because that is what we given as a selected type as a default one. That button is the selected one. So that's the reason it is showing that particular color over here. Now, maybe we can reduce the color a little bit, 400 or 600. It's too dark, 200, 400. I think 500 would be great. Perfect. And for this also, I need to make some changes. Size, of course, I'm going to make the size as a 32. Now the button is a little bit bigger than the class name, which is going to be here also cn function, text neutral 500. That's the default color one, but here is selected. Then text color needs to be, oops, not is errored, selected. Then text color needs to be text blue 500. Save these changes. That's how it looks. Now for the card title, class name, use the cn function. Let's do the same over here. For the card title, I'm going to say text LG, font semi bold, and if it is selected, then text blue 300, something like that. Okay, now that looks perfectly fine. So we have ourselves reusable components, and here all I have to do is to copy and paste it several times. So first, what are the things that we need to have? Let me show you. And this is the one, toggle switch. This is going to be switch. And for this, I need to search an icon. Let's search for switch. Okay, so let's use this one, toggle left, something like that. Then I need to bring checkbox, 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 something like that. And this is going to be checkbox. Where it is coming from. Okay, so we need to have an icon for check. Quiet, here it is. Square check big. Square check big icon. Just like that. Then for that, we need to have a card. So for a card, what icon we can use? We can use list. Maybe we can use this one, or we can choose this one. I think I can go with this one. This looks much better. Let's say card. This is going to be card. And let's say clipboard lose it react. Save these changes. This is how it looks. When I click it over here, and if I choose between them, see, now I can see the changes. What are the things that is selected over there, right? Checkbox, toggle switch, and all those things. And even I can reduce the, I don't need this size, or I can simply say text sm. Come on. That would be even better, I think so. Perfect. Okay. And if it is not selected, I can use the size as text neutral 400. That would be even better. Here also 400. Sorry, 500 would be fine. Okay, that looks much nicer. Perfectly fine. And let's see how does it looks on the light theme. And if I click it, this is how it looks on the light theme. Okay, so maybe on light theme, light, this, let's make it a little bit darker. I think icon is perfectly fine. This is on darker theme, but on the light theme, text needs to be blue 500 itself. That would be fine. And if I change it on to the dark mode, if I click this, this is how it looks. Okay, and let's create few more items over here. All right, so now the problem is, if you see here, the element card, it's taking, instead of adding it keep on again and again, it's better to create an array and render it according to it. So in order to do that, what we can do is, I have to create, so let me get back to our library and let me create a new file called helper.ts here. First, I'm going to create myself an interface called element card items, item props, something like that. It's going to have the title as a string, then it's going to have an icon, which is going to be the lucid icon. Then it's going to have the type string, right? So that is what it is having, where it is odd model. Yeah, that's the thing, three informations which is needed. Now we need to create an array. So first const elements element elements cards, which is going to be the type of element card props array of that, which is going to be an array. And inside that, we're going to have an object, which is basically going to have a title, and which is going to be a button of icon of a rural dimension. And we need to import this. Okay, so just like that, we're going to bring the rest of the icons. I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm going to import those icons over here, which is toggle left, then quiet check wig, then clipboard icon, then loader icon. Then we can keep the input. For input, what we can keep input. Let's use this chevron left, right, ellipsis, chevron left, right, ellipsis. Let me enable the word wrap so you can see it. Then right after here, I need to bring the form input tooltip or tooltip for tooltip. What icon we can? So basically for all these things, we have to create a custom icons, but right now we don't have that over. Searching the icons, it's quite complicated. For all these things, we have to have ourselves a designer to create ourselves the icons and everything. Tooltip, no icons. Okay, for the tooltip, what we can do? Tooltip over. Let's search for tooltip icon name. Okay, we can use the info then. That would be better. Let's search for info. How does it looks? Info. Okay, let's keep that one. Info. Info. And let's keep the radio icon. Oops. Radio. Mm, mm, mm. Radio button. Circle dot. Circle dot. Okay, we can use this one. Circle dot. Circle dot. And for this, do we have the patterns? Nope. We have radio waves, I think so. Yes, audio lines. Audio lines. Let's use the audio lines. Now this everything is perfectly fine and I need to export these things. Export. Perfect. And now let me get back over here. This place, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to use the elements cards dot map function. Then I'm going to get the item out of it. Then I'm going to render the elements card button. Along with this, I'm going to get the index. And for the key, I'm going to supply the index because we need to make sure every button has a unique one. Then for this over here, I need to supply the title, which is going to be item dot title. Then I need to supply the type, which is going to be item dot type. Then I need to supply the icon, which is going to be item dot icon. Then selected type, which is going to be selected type. Then on click, which is going to be a callback function. Let's get the type out of it. Then I need to say set selected type as the type. That's how this is going to be. And now if I get back over here, if I click this, you can see we have a unique and clean type of buttons and actions over here. Now you can choose between them what are the types that you want, and when the user clicks confirms, it is going to create a new UI in our database by using this type alone. Later user can edit the name and all the information, the code, whatever the information that it's needed. Right, so let's go ahead and do that now.